A teenager was slapped across both cheeks by his school warden for eating bread that was meant for breakfast the next day. And now, the adult in charge walks away with just a Rm 200 fine. That's 364 Singapore dollars. No jail time. No suspension. Just a fine. Is this justice? Welcome back to 2230, where we break down real stories that matter and ask the questions others avoid. Today's case takes us to Malaysia, where a disciplinary incident in a religious boarding school has set off a firestorm of debate. Maud Norzayshul Zenuddin, a 41-year-old warden, was responsible for overseeing students at the school. But last month, when he found out a 16-year-old student had eaten bread meant for the dorm's breakfast, he didn't report it or issue a verbal warning. He slapped the boy. Not once but on both cheeks. And the force was enough to leave visible injuries. Now let's pause here. We're not talking about a theft. We're not talking about violence from the student. This was over bread, likely a couple of slices. Yet the punishment handed down to the student was physical assault. From an adult in power. In a religious school no less. Fast forward to the 3rd of June. Norzayshul appeared before a court and was charged with voluntarily causing hurt, a charge that carries up to a year in jail or a Rm 2000 fine. But because he pleaded guilty, he was fined Rm 200, roughly 364 Singapore dollars. What does that say about how seriously the system views violence against minors, especially when committed by a figure of authority? Now, in many parts of Southeast Asia, corporal punishment is still debated. Some argue it instills discipline. Others say it's a harmful relic of the past. But here's what's undeniable: violence breeds trauma, especially when there's a power imbalance. This wasn't just a slap. It was a statement that authority can override compassion, and that physical dominance is an acceptable form of discipline. It raises serious questions. Should wardens and teachers ever be allowed to lay hands on a student? Is a 364 Singapore dollar fine enough deterrence for violence against a minor? What happens to the child now, mentally, emotionally? Was any support given? And what about the other students? Do they now fear the warden more than they respect him? These are not small issues. Because today it was a slap over bread. Tomorrow it could be worse, and again brushed off with a monetary penalty. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Is this an outdated approach to discipline? Or are we becoming too soft on student behavior? Should schools have zero tolerance for physical punishment, especially in religious institutions where moral values are supposed to lead? If you've made it this far, thank you. Your attention to stories like this fuels awareness and accountability. If this story matters to you, hit that like, share it with someone who cares, and subscribe to 2230. Because truth is not just about headlines, it's about asking the hard questions. And don't forget, your voice matters. Drop a comment. Let's talk about where we draw the line between discipline and abuse.